community gardens movement, it may be more well developed in some areas and less developed in other areas, just because there were folks that were really into it and really wanted to get it started. So you may be the beneficiary of those folks who've gone before you and kind of started the whole thing, or it may be something that you're going to have to do it yourself. Starting a community garden can be sometimes easy, sometimes very difficult, because you're going through city administration. Different communities have the whole community garden aspect under a different section of the city government. So you have to call the city offices and find out who does it. But on our website is a community garden startup guide, and this is like what you can use as a checklist. You perhaps know of a site, you see a vacant lot or a house that's being used for what you know shouldn't be used for, and maybe you can get help through the city to take down that house and open it up for people to make a garden out of it. This is what's happened in several cases in Los Angeles, working with the city, because the city wanted to get rid of that crack house, and these folks in the neighborhood wanted to have a place to grow more of their own food because they were all in apartments. So they worked together, and the owner of the property was very willing, because he knew that his property would be used for something good. So they worked out a deal, and 5 years later it was working wonderfully for everybody. You need to know, for example, who owns the property. Fencing is a good idea. You have to have access to water, all those kinds of very practical things. And some of them you may not have thought of, like you're sure that you don't want to have fencing on the property, but after a while you find out it's really a good thing, because everybody who walks by is going to pick those tomatoes, and you were wanting that tomato for tomorrow night's dinner, and now it's no longer there, So little things like that, as well as the big important stuff. What has happened in the past a couple times is that people put ads in the local newspaper, and they just say, I want to start a community garden. Who's interested? Who wants to work with me? So it can be very simple, but it does take people who really want to do it, because many times it'll be a hard row to hoe, as the phrase can go very appropriately.